18 to 37-year-olds are the most frequent viewers of live stream video in the U.S. 52% of live video viewers stream content through social media. Video streaming accounted for nearly half of all downstream internet traffic. What does it all mean? Let's find out on the Why I Go Live podcast with Coach Kirk.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. It is so good to be back for another episode of the Why I Go Live podcast. I get to serve as your host. My name is Kirk Nugent, and this is season two, and I've got a phenomenal guest lined up all ready for you. So many different people from different backgrounds, from different expertise and disciplines, from different industries are utilizing live streaming. Why are they doing that, you might ask? I'm glad you did, and I'm glad you're here because this is the Why I Go Live podcast, and that's exactly what we seek to answer, that particular question. But before we do that, we got to get into some of our statistics. 90% of people watch video over the internet from PwC. My word, 90%. I wonder what those other 10% are doing. How are they watching video? It's crazy. 232 million people watch streaming or downloaded video across all devices in the United States. That is from Statista. That is crazy. 232 million. Do you have a slice of that pie? Are you missing out on this phenomenal opportunity? Come on. What's our last one? The last one is by 2025. That's actually not far from now. Almost 25% of United States households will cancel their cable subscriptions. That's from Adweek. That is bananas. And you know why they're doing that? They're doing that because they can get their information, they can get their learning, their training, their how-to, and their entertainment all online. And I'm super excited to dive into that concept today, because here to help us answer this question is trial attorney, sports enthusiast, a woman of faith, and the host of the Ravens Talk with Yolanda YouTube channel, Yolanda Bruce. How are you today?
Oh, I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me. How are you, Kirk?
I'm doing well. I'm doing good. This is phenomenal. I'm glad we were able to kind of connect and get everything going. I know that we had a conversation while live, and this is so good because this is like that live conversation led to this conversation on the podcast. We had a conversation while live, and you were chiming in the chat, sharing with us some of the details about why you go live. But before we dive into that, just take a brief moment and just share with folks a little bit about yourself. I mean, they know you're a trial attorney, woman of faith, sports enthusiast, of course, but share a little bit about you and of course your YouTube channel, the Ravens Talk with Yolanda.
Sure. Thank you again. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whenever you are watching this. I'm very excited to be here today, and we've got an excellent show for you. Hope that you learn something and take something away from it. But a little bit about me, as Kirk mentioned, I'm a sports enthusiast, a trial attorney, but I love to talk Baltimore Ravens football. I'm originally from Florida. Moved to the DMV, the DC, Virginia, Maryland area, and fell in love with the culture and just how much this city, how much this town loves and embodies, and it just encapsulates Baltimore Ravens and what it means to play like a Raven. And I found myself entrenched in it. And several years later, here I am. I ventured out to start my own YouTube channel just to allow for a safe space for like-minded individuals like myself who love the game, who get frustrated with the game sometimes. But it's a way for us to really connect and have that connectivity online.
Listen, it's amazing. I don't think I knew before your intro that you lived in Florida before. That's amazing. That's something that we have in common. Where in Florida were you at before?
I'm from Orlando, so I'm from Central Florida. Orlando is home.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I went to high school in Orlando, a boarding school called Forest Lake Academy. It's right off of 436 East Summeron Boulevard. That is amazing. You know what? The world is too small. It's just too small. And then of course, this part. I lived in Maryland for a number of years before going on missionary assignment and then relocating to Huntsville, Alabama, which is where I am now. But man, I tell you what, she's not lying, y'all. If you haven't plugged in, you don't know what Purple Fridays are in Baltimore. I worked at T. Rowe Price, which is literally right downtown, 100 East Pratt Street, looking at the harbor. I'm telling you, that thing will be purple. And there's just nothing quite like Ravens Nation. So I'm excited that you plugged into that. And of course, creating a space. I will say this, even though she didn't say it, I'll say it. You're a woman in a male dominated space. And I think that's a huge niche that you have. And that is, of course, you're adding your voice to the conversation, and it allows for others to be like, oh, okay. Yeah. That, like, even my daughter could be like, oh, okay, I could be a football enthusiast as well. Because I've seen Yolanda do it. And all of these things, I hope you're listening, y'all. I hope you're listening. I hope you're plugging in. All of these things are reasons why you want to add your voice to the conversation. You may actually decide after listening to what she's got to say that you might want to go live too. Well, that is the signature question of our show. And that's what we want to ask Yolanda right now. I wish I had got the little drum roll. Maybe I'll add that in post. But Yolanda Bruce, why do you go live?
If I may just take 2.5,
Sure.
just to quickly piggyback on what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Being a female in a male predominant industry
Yes.
is something that is not unfamiliar to me, because as an attorney, the percentage of female attorneys and then African American female attorneys was less than 2.2%. And when I embarked on the journey as a trial attorney, I realized early in my career that the people who I call colleagues, the individuals who have historically had a seat at the table, did not look like me. But I never allowed that to stop me. I always believed that, and it was instilled in me, that if someone else has done it before, you can do it. And if they have never done it before, you blaze a trail.
Blaze the trail. I love that. I love that. Oh, my word. No. I'm so glad you interjected that, because somebody needed to hear just that. You can either follow the footsteps of those who've gone before you, or you blaze the trail, because somebody guaranteed is going to come behind you. And that's so awesome. And it's you're taking that. There's so much here, but you're taking that experience from your legal space, your actual profession, and bringing that into the content space as well. I love that. Yes. I love that. My wife is in tech, right? She's a web designer, information systems professional. She is very much in that same lane, and so many different male dominated spaces. She continues to bust that door down and pull her chair up to the table and make sure that her voice is heard. So I love that. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much for sharing that piece. Now, I know you go live for a reason, right? I mean, there's all kinds of different ways that you could still have these conversations, but talk to us about why you go live.
As an extrovert, going live allows me to have that connectivity that recorded videos don't. And when the pandemic hit, when we were all locked down, for a person like myself who thrives with human connection and thrives in the presence of other people, it was really tough to find a way to still have some level of engagement, albeit from the four corners of my home. I still wanted to be involved in something bigger, greater than myself. Church was not in session. There were no extracurricular activities to do after school with the kids. There was nothing to do. And what I found myself gravitating to during that time was social media. And I found different YouTubers who are Ravens fans. And what they would do is they would live stream the football games. And we would just be in the live stream together, cheering on our team in the chat. Go Ravens. What did you just do that for, Ravens? Wait, no, bad call, ref. And so it was a way that I did not feel so isolated.
Oh,
and
that's so good.
When I decided to launch my own channel, I first had a vision for my channel and for the direction I wanted it to go. But I decided to pivot just a bit, because if I can speak in all candor, I do not have a tech background, and I did not realize or appreciate the amount of labor or work or even just knowledge that you have to gain as you are going live.
Right,
And
right.
I was nervous about going live because I did not know if I would be able to work a camera before, because I had never done that before.
Right, right, right.
And so, but I found myself saying, you can always tell yourself, or there are million reasons you can convince yourself as to why you're not ready.
Mm.
Or you can jump in and do it afraid. And that's what I did.
Wow. That's
I did
good.
it before I was ready. I'm
Mm-hmm.
still not really ready. I'm learning as I go. So I did not and allow that to be a hindrance for me pursuing what I believe was my destiny because I was
Wow.
nervous or afraid. So
Man, that there is so much value that has been shared right in that initial piece right there, just answering that first piece of the question. I love, one of the things that I always try to draw people's attention to is the different instances of live streaming that we see all around us that sometimes we don't necessarily consider live streaming. So take, for instance, one of the stats we read there, right, as we were getting ready to open up the show was 25% of United States households will cancel their subscription. Another one said something like 90% of people watch videos over the internet. Here's the truth, y'all. A football game is a live stream. It's not quite the traditional sense, right? We're not looking at it from on YouTube or whatever, but it is a live stream. It is a live broadcast that we're able to watch. And what you've done, and what people in your niche have done, is essentially allowed people to watch the game together with the added component of the chat. And I just absolutely love that. That is phenomenal. In fact, a lot of churches during the pandemic, that's what they did. They basically put church in a space where, yes, we couldn't necessarily be together in a building, but we could be together online, and that made all the difference. Man, Yolanda, take another second here. There's always this follow-up question that we always ask, and that's simply live streaming. It opens up worlds. and so we always ask our guests on the show, what's something that has happened that you can draw a straight line to and say, that was because I went live? It could be something crazy, could be something very basic, or it could just be a connection, whatever, thing you can come up with that you could say, okay, this particular thing or opportunity or experience was only afforded me because I decided over here to go live. Share with us.
I will share that in one sentence and one word. I can narrow it down to one word.
Here we go.
Growth.
Growth.
I saw an exponential growth in my channel because I was live streaming twice a week. And my live streams are 30 minutes.
Wow.
Because I do my own show by myself. And so I wanted to have a set realistic goals so that I can set myself up for success. And I said I would live stream for 30 minutes, twice a week. And that's what I did. And during that time where I was live streaming twice a week in the evenings, I saw incredible amount of growth on my channel. And I'd love to continue to live stream twice a week, but sometimes with the ebbs and flows of work, it may or may not be possible.
Yeah.
But I love to see how many people tune in to listen to this girl from Florida give her opinions on the Baltimore Ravens. And that really became a thing. So with that, I will say, no dream that you have is too small. Nothing that you believe is in your heart or that your purpose to do is too minuscule. Do it because somebody needs you.
Somebody needs you. That is good. I listen, growth. There's somebody out there right now who's thinking to themselves, man, of all the things that she could have said, I did not think she was going to say growth. And I'm glad. I'm so glad. We never know what we're going to get on the Why I Go Live podcast because everyone is different. Everyone's journey is different. Everyone's purpose and the reason for utilizing this platform, this method of sharing at scale is going to be different. It's going to be unique. It's going to be special. And that's what we've been able to hear here today from Yolanda. Take another second just to share where they can find you, follow you. We're going to have some of the details in the show notes. But of course, if you have anything special coming up in terms of content on your channel or other things that you might be doing on other platforms other than YouTube, just take a second and share that with us as we get ready to close.
Sure. Again, Kirk, this was so much fun. Thank you very much for the invitation and for having me today.
Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
would just like to leave a word of encouragement for anyone who might receive it. Do not ever allow yourself to talk yourself into not doing something
Mm,
that you will know you're called to do.
that's
You
good.
are enough. Take that with you because there's an assignment on your life. And until you do it, it's going to eat you. It's going to be right here. It's going to sit
Yeah.
with you. So don't procrastinate. Take the first step. Have faith, believe in yourself, and believe that everything is going to turn out just fine. With
Woof.
that, you can find me at Ravens Talk with Yolanda right here in these digital and real streets of
That's
YouTube.
right.
And if you are on X, you can find me at Yolanda ESQ1908. And I look forward to connecting with you very, very soon.
I will make sure that those links are in the description and in the show notes. For those of you watching on YouTube, we want to say farewell. For those of you listening on the podcast side, we want to say a word of thanks to you, all of you, and to our guest, Yolanda, for coming through and hanging out with us today. We truly appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure.
Well, guess what, folks? That's another episode in the books. I mean, think about this. Think about this. Trial attorney and sports enthusiasts all balled up in one, and she's utilizing live video to get her unique message, her unique perspective, to amplify her unique voice in a space where you don't often hear from somebody like her. That is absolutely phenomenal. And I'm excited because this is exactly why we exist here at the Why I Go Live podcast. This is exactly what we do. We want to showcase and highlight these people from all over the world who have different backgrounds, different stories, different reasons why they're utilizing the vehicle of live streaming to serve at scale. I always say this as we get ready to close our show out: your live stream is your digital storefront. That's correct. There's no better way for your ideal audience, your ideal customer, your ideal person to see you do your thing in your own environment than for them to see you do it live. Honestly, they don't need any more. They don't need an ad campaign, any of the other stuff. They just want to book the business because they've seen you do it and they've seen you do it live. This is something that I want to share with you, something I want to help you do. If you want any resources, if you want to connect with me in terms of coaching or content, or even some of the resources we make available in the Workers Warehouse, please hit us up. info@howitallworks is the email address. All of those details will be in the notes and in the description. It's your boy, Kirk Nugent, the Geek Speaker Preacher. Thankful for your time and attention today. We'll see you around these internet streets or in the next audio stream.
Why I Go Live, hosted by Coach Kirk, is a composition production. Real streamers, honest stories, and incredible impact. Add your voice to the conversation. Go to kirkrnugent.live/member to join the community. And let's figure out how it all works.